So we're going to make some parrot bookmarks today. There are two that I'm going to show you how to make. The first one, you're going to need a strip of card. I pre-painted some pieces of paper because I didn't have any coloured card. So I just painted them in with some poster paint, left them to fully dry so that they're really dry, so when I cut them they're not going to tear. And you can do that if you don't have any coloured paper like I don't. So the first one, like I said, you're going to need a big rectangle, however wide and however long as you want to make your bookmark. Probably as long and as wide as your book maybe, if you wanted. Mine's about half the width of my book and almost the full length of my book. So from here, we're going to create the first type. So what I'm actually going to do is fold over the top of my paper. And to do this, I made sure I painted the back side, not completely, but almost the back side of my paper. So I folded it over here. Now I'm going to grab a pencil and I'm going to draw a head shape onto the folded over part. So I'm going to create more or less a circle shape in pencil, so I can always rub it out on the top. You can see my pencil there. Now I'm going to unfold it. From the top of my fold line, I'm now going to draw sort of a body shape. So I'm going to draw a big oval. Again, I'm going to draw it in pencil and then you can always rub it out if it's not neat, and mine never is. Just like this. So you can see, it looks almost like a tongue, top and bottom. Now you're going to grab a pair of scissors and you're going to cut those shapes out. So I'm going to start on my headpiece, and using my scissors, you can see I don't really take the scissors off the paper, and this way I can create one smooth line all the way around my shape. And it's a lot quicker, just like that. So I'm now going to cut that bit off, get rid of that bit, and onto this part. So I'm going to create this large tongue shape. At the bottom of your tongue shape, try and keep it almost rounded and pointed like an egg. Only because that will give you a better shape to stick a tail piece on. I've given you a clue now of what shape you are making on the bottom half. A body. There you go. You got a top and a bottom, and when you fold it over, it looks kind of like that. Now we're going to add on a piece to make a tail. So I'm going to rub out my pencil lines that you can see, just so that I can keep this looking a little bit neater. You can do the same if you'd like. Don't forget to rub out the pencil marks on the other side, like that. And I'm now going to add on a tail. So like I said, I pre-painted some paper, and I painted it this lovely, vibrant lime green into dark green. And I'm going to create a tail shape. So I'm first going to measure how long I want my tail to be, because I cut almost a third off of my red piece. So I now want to add that back on with my tail. So what I'm going to do is draw two lines from the side, as wide as I'd like my tail to be. And I'm going to draw a line at the bottom of how long I want my tail to be. Now, if you followed my Zazu drawing tutorial, you're going to basically create the same sort of shape that you would with his wings, which is a triangle, yes, but then at the bottom you're going to draw these sharp, almost sword shapes. So I'll show you there. Well, it kind of looks like a hand as well, kind of. That's going to be your tail, and you're going to cut that out. So I'm going to cut it out really quickly to show you. Again, with your scissors technique, try to keep the blade on the paper. Turn the paper in your hand so that you can really just keep the blade inside the paper, and that way you create some really smooth lines when you cut, and also it's a lot quicker. Okay, so cut out your tail. Like that, and again, rub out your pencil lines because you want to keep it nice and neat. Beautiful. So we have a tail, just like that. So I'm going to go on and stick that down. So I'm sticking my green piece behind my red piece because his body sits in front of his tail, okay? That's what you want to remember. So I'm going to stick that on there. You can use a stapler. I'm using a Pritt stick just to make it nice and quick. So the leftover red that you had, you're now going to fold in half. You never waste any of your paper, particularly if you can use it to make another shape. So I folded it in half here, and I've got this piece at the bottom, which I'm going to create kind of like wing shapes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to simply draw almost like a pixie ear. You see that shape? You can see that the folded edge doesn't have a line on it. So I'm going to cut this shape and it's going to create almost a pair of bunny ears. So here we go. Again, using my scissor technique of turning the paper rather than taking the scissors out. When I unfold my shape, there's my pair of bunny ears. So now I'm going to cut down the center of my bunny ears, just like that. And I'm going to add these on to behind my body shape. So it looks kind of like that, okay? No, it looks a little bit weird at the moment, but trust me, trust me. 2 little dobs of glue, or again, use a stapler if you don't have a Pritt stick, and stick on your body. You can fan them out a little bit if you want a different shape. I quite like the shape that I've got at the moment. I'm making sure I squeeze them onto the paper. Beautiful. So far you've got this. Okay? Can you see what's going to happen? Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of a fancy bit onto the ends of my wings because I just want them to stand out a little bit more, okay? I'm going to take a piece of orange card. This is a piece of card that I have pre-painted again. So I'm going to take a strip. Let's cut that awful white bit off. I'm going to take a strip of orange, bright orange card now. You can use as many colours as you like for this one. The more colourful, the better your parrot will come out. So I'm using as many colours as I can. And I'm folded it over. And along the folded edge, I'm not going to draw or cut anything on that line. So I'm cutting away from that folded edge. And again, I'm going to create almost the same shape to my tail, where I've got like a triangle at the bottom, and then at the side I draw 2 other triangle shapes, and I fan up to that folded edge. Can you see? And then again I'm going to cut it. So you can tell a lot of cutting in this craft, but it's worth it in the end, I promise you. Once I unfold it, I'm going to have like a really weird leaf shape. Just like that. And then again, down the middle, sorry, I'm going to cut it. I'm now going to add that on to my red wings that are now stuck either side of my body. So I'm going to use glue again. You can use whatever you need. I find glue just makes it look a lot nicer and it's a lot quicker. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I stick these on really well so that they're not going to fall off. Okay. Make your shapes of your wings and your tips quite strong, pointy, because they are going to look the best, okay? So here we have, so far, almost looking like a parrot shape, almost. 2 things you're missing is a pair of feet and a beak. Now, again, grab your orange card, or if you're like me, the orange that you previously painted before you started. Again, make a strip. We're going to cut a rectangle off. That's going to be his beak. We're going to fold the remaining part in half. Now, just like the shape you made for the orange end pieces of his wings, we're going to create the same shape for his feet, except a little bit smaller. So I folded it over, and the folded edge I'm not going to draw on or cut. I'm going to create the same shape, those 3 triangles that join to the top folded line, just like that. And I'm going to cut it out again, nice and simple. All these shapes are shapes that you know and that are in pretty much all of my drawings, all of my things that I make, I just think about the shapes. So when I made that giraffe, junk model giraffe this week as well, I just thought about the shapes that I needed. Again, when you fold this out, you're going to have a really weird leaf shape. And you can cut down the middle. Now for this one, because it's feet, cut down the middle and then round off the corners. So you don't have any sharp corners on his feet. Like that, okay? 2 of those. We're nearly at the finish line. We're nearly gonna stick on some googly eyes. Now I'm gonna stick his feet onto his body here, just like that. You don't have to make feet if you don't want to. These are added extras, but I think they make him look a little bit nicer. So here we go, 1 foot and 2 foot. Now we forgot about his beak. Not yet, we're going to do that beak now. So again, I'm gonna fold the piece in half. This is gonna help me get a nice even shape. Now you're gonna draw a triangle, really simple. How big you want his beak to be is up to you. So I'm gonna draw a triangle from the folded line to the top line. So there, so the folded edge is now on the side, okay? You're going to cut your triangle out in one go, chop. Now just like you did his feet, round off the tips, just so that you don't have any sharp edges on your beak. When you unfold it, it should look like this, perfect. I'm gonna actually stick his beak here. I'm folding his head over and sticking his beak on this side. Sounds weird, I know, but trust me, it will look great in the end. So again, I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto his beak so that I can stick it to his head. So I folded the head over and I stuck his beak on just like this. Beautiful. You with me so far? So unfolded, he looks like this. You could always colour this bit in orange. Actually, I'm going to do that right now to show you. I should have painted that side, but I didn't think about it. Silly me. So simply, you can use felt tip pens to colour him in. If you don't have paint, you could use chalk. You might choose not to colour him in. Once you've got to this stage, you can stick on some googly eyes. I've got some. If you don't have any, it doesn't matter. You can draw some eyes on, okay? I like googly eyes, they're a little bit of fun. I'm going to actually give him green eyes, why not? So I've got googly eyes. I'm going to stick his eyes quite to the side of his head. Okay, it'll make sense in a moment when we do some drawing onto him. And there he is, he's got some eyes now. Now, as an added extra, you know I like my extras, you can grab a felt tip black pen and you can do a little bit of detailing. So my detailing is, I'm going to draw some little lines either side of his beak. Those are his nostrils. From this point, I'm actually going to draw some flame shapes above his eyebrows. So I'm going to draw flame shapes that curve down towards his beak, just like that, simple. You can draw on to his feet, some fingernails and some little marks, just like that. You can go crazy, you could draw feathers onto his feathers too. So to draw feathers onto his feathers, you draw a line down the center and you just create little feather shapes like this. These are extra things. If you don't like them, you don't have to add them. Remember, it's all about what you like. I'm showing you these so that you can have fun and have a little bit of a different parrot from everybody else. You don't have to be very neat either. Just like that, okay? Good. So we've reached this stage. Again, you could do your lines down on his tail. And again, you could do your feather shapes here. So that's one of my parrot shape bookmarks, okay? I'm going to show you one more, very similar, but a little bit of a different shape, okay? And then you can create as many parrots as you want. Maybe you read multiple books. Beautiful. Just like that. There's my parrot. Okay? Okay, so this is the one that I made with you just now. And this is another type of one that I just made. So it's a little bit different. The shapes are very similar. So instead of the head folding over, it's the wing that folds over. So this is the shape that I started with. If you did my Zazu drawing tutorial from the Lion King, the same shapes. We've got a circle head, a triangle for the neck, and a circle body. And this big circle here, or oval, is just triangle shapes on the end. So when you fold this one over, this is the piece that will fold over your page of your book and keep your book nice and safe. So those are the two that I made. Now you don't have to make my ones. You can make very different parrots. There are hundreds that you can make, but these two are mine. If you make any of them, I'd love to see how you make them. And I hope you have a really good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.